Hello, everybody. As he has introduced me, I am Ireoluwa Adeyemo. It's very nice to be here and to see beautiful faces. And it's my utmost pleasure to host this amazing fireside session with three intelligent men that are doing amazing things in the financial ecosystem in Africa. It's really amazing. Please, can we put our hands together for them once again? It's not easy. It's not easy. If you think this is easy, I just want you to Google out Credlock. I had to go and check them out when I was giving this thing, and I was like, for for this scale of thing and this amazing idea to even birth the idea in Africa, it takes something. It takes so much. So well done and amazing work. Thank you very much. So I'll be starting immediately with the CEO and founder, Mr. Temidayo. Um, you founded Credlock with over 25 years of experience in designing networks, infrastructure, and financial service systems. Yes. So when you founded Credlock, what were the key design principles you insisted on in order to enable growth? And why did you pick those?
Thank you very much, Ire. I think that's a good place to start from, right? Um, I believe that when you talk about scale, right, at the root of scale is actually people, right? I had the privilege of starting my career. Like I told folks here yesterday, I went to University of Ilorin. Um, Basically grew up in Kwara State here. And
Better by far.
and I remember, I had the privilege of what I believe is one of the finest institutions to have ever been birthed in this country, and a bank, Guarantee Trust Bank at the time in its infancy, and a lot of the things that guide our growth and our scale came from my experience and what I personally experienced in what was poured into me, as a young man working in Guarantee Trust Bank at the time, just at the just as the time when the internet, the advent of the internet at the time. So I started out my career at the time when the internet was just beginning to be a thing in Nigeria, and Guarantee Trust Bank at the time, having found product market fit and having begun its journey at scale, provided me the opportunity to learn from the get-go what was required to scale an organization. And I give you an example. I was privileged to be one of the individuals at the time to facilitate internet connectivity for GT Bank at the time. And I remember that our first internet connection in GTB at that time was a dial-up connection. Does anybody know what dial-up is? Dial-up was, at the time, internet connection facilitated by a phone line, just one phone line connected to a computer, which we used at that time to facilitate connectivity for everybody in the bank, right? So I saw the opportunity to do things not at scale initially, right? And shortly after that, being part of the journey of scale of technology for GT Bank at the time, being part of the Y2K conversion. Anybody here remember a time when we thought the world would end technology-wise in year 2000, right? Being part of that experience. And so early on in my career, I was introduced to design thinking around scaling systems from status quo to systems that could potentially support millions of people. And one of the things I learned quickly was that the principles of scaling are universal. Whether you are building a system, a banking system, a fintech system, a telecom system, an accounting system, whatever it is you are building, the principles of scale are universal, right? And that is essentially starting with proven steps, proven methods, right? Identifying product market fit in a market that allows you to fail safely, right? and then building in a modular manner really is key, really, to achieving scale. And those are the principles that have guided us in Credlock from the get-go. And I attract one, the people and the design thinking around scaling gradually from product market fit to align yourself to scale within an environment or a market that allows you to fail safely.
Please, a round of applause. Please, a round of applause. Um, I think something I really got from there is from the scratch, you had the opportunity to grow. So you understood what it was to not be able to design at scale and how the gradual process to designing at scale. It's a process. It doesn't just happen.
Yes, it is.
It's a process. It doesn't just happen. So to anybody out there that wants to design at scale, that wants to build something at scale, it's a process.
Absolutely.
It doesn't just happen. It's not an overnight thing.
Absolutely.
It's always a process
Yes.
to it. Thank you very much. Thank you. Please, a round of applause once again, please. Thank you. So my next question is to Mr. Winner. As the Chief Technology Officer of Credlock, and with fintech and payments in the African context, issues like unreliable connectivity, offline fallbacks might matter. It even matters in Africa. Like, think that the way our network works here in Africa, how has that context shaped your design for scale at Credlock?
Thank you very much. So, when you are building for the African markets, there are a lot of things you have to put into consideration. And I think part of it is that even though we have good internet connection in Nigeria, sometimes the internet can just go off and come back, right? A shaky internet. Then we have some devices that are low-end devices, which means you've put enough effort, like massive effort into building your application, but when you put it out there, you realize that some users cannot really make use of it because it's slow on their device. So you have to put those things into consideration. You have to, when you're building, you have to think about your users. What is their device demographic? Let me use that word. You have to think about that. Then for internet connectivity, so there is one thing that is very important when it comes to fintech, and that is idempotency. Which means if a user is performing a particular action, if they should perform that action, say 100 times, it should achieve the same result, right? So that's what we did. Our API endpoints are idempotent. For instance, if a merchant is trying to withdraw, you can try to withdraw 10,000 and click on it, say 100 times, you get just 10,000 naira. You're not going to be credited multiple times. And there are lots of systems that have flaws when it comes to idempotency. So that was one thing we really, really took importance.
Oh wow, that's amazing because what you just said now, the example you gave, just made me remember. Just yesterday, I wanted to buy data to my phone, and I clicked on it the first time. I'd submitted it, but it did like it didn't go, so I did it again, only for me to be debited from my bank, and I was debited twice. There's nothing I can do about that. I just took my L with my full test and I moved on. Thankfully, I had the money in my account for it. I think that's a very, very important and even a genius thing to do for the system, especially seeing the kind of system that you have built. Imagine someone clicking on it and then he doesn't have the ability to pay, to collect the loan that he want, that amount, and he clicks on it multiple times, and then he has like a millionaire to pay. How does that work? So it's actually very important. Well done. Thank you very much. Please, a round of applause. Please, a round of applause. Thank you. And now to Mr. Lawrence as the Chief Operating Officer for Credlock Operations. In your view, what are the biggest bottlenecks in scaling fintech's operation, especially in the African context? And how has Credlock built around or ahead of these bottlenecks?
Okay, thank you very much. One big issue, really, is an identity issue that we, even at Credlock, we faced at some point. I'm sure if you ask everyone here, the house address on your NIN, you probably no longer live there. For instance. So we have difficulties in, authenticating certain informations of customers. And that actually posed to be a big problem. So, but for Credlock, how we worked around that was that we started using multiple channels for authentication, right? We pull data from your NIN, we pull data from your BVN, we even, we collect data from you as a customer with word of mouth. Okay, where do you live? So we then triangulate and authenticate, we cross-reference all of the data we pulled from all these channels. Those, it's automated anyways. We authenticate them and cross-reference them together. We compare and make sure that, okay, the address on your NIN is the same as the one on your BVN and is also the same as the one you've just given to us. So that way, we are able to do that at scale. You do KYC at scale. And that way, it actually helps us to do more transactions eventually. So thank you.
Oh, okay. I think I understand. Speaking about the address on your NIN, to be fair, mine is not even where I live exactly. If you go there and you ask of me, there's a high chance that one or two people know me, but my personal address is not my NIN. So I think I actually understand. I'm making sure that the information aligns, tallies, because some of us, if you check, okay, maybe NIN and BVN, same thing, but there are some vital informations and documents that you see the same. So it's actually very, very important and also a genius thing to do. Round of applause. Please, a round of applause. Back to Mr. Temidayo. From a leadership point of view now, how do you build and cultivate a culture within Credlock that supports scaling up, especially so that you don't outgrow your own foundation?
All right, so thank you again for giving me the opportunity to emphasize our secret sauce, right? And our secret sauce is people, right? I'm a product of an institution that empowered people early on in their career, very early on in their career. And so for me, I've taken those principles to heart, that if we are going to achieve our goals, our people must be empowered. Our people must be equipped, right? And our culture must cut across the entire organization. So for me, in that journey of ensuring a singular culture across all our organizations, emphasis has been on developing our people, right? And when I say development, I don't necessarily mean development in the formal sense of education in itself, as that, although that is part of it. But development in terms of putting our people in scenarios that they will ordinarily not find themselves, that force growth, One of the things that we were privileged to be part of as a team was earlier in the year, we were accepted into a program, the AI Venture Program by INSEAD. INSEAD is one of the foremost business schools out there in Europe. And just being able to have our entire team, our Ilorin-based team, seated with 600 other startups doing fantastic things, leveraging AI, was instrumental and was a massive growth moment for us, really. Sitting in those classes from our flower garden office and engaging with professors from all over the world and startup founders from all over the world is a testament to really how we do things and what we do things. And this was from the get-go. Even before we became cash flow positive, we were already investing in training. We were already investing in our people. We were already putting ourselves in situations. There's a running joke amongst us. I've been encouraging Lawrence, our CEO, to grow a beard quickly. Because we go into scenarios and a lot of people see deceptively looking boyish looks, so to speak. And sometimes people may underestimate the wisdom that you see, in who stands before you. But that being said, the opportunities that we've had as a team, right, to be in places that, because we are punching heavier than our weight, has really helped us, along in that journey.
That's really amazing. Please, a round of applause. What he just mentioned now is not a small thing. It's actually not a small thing. Being able to have not just one person, not that the company is celebrating just their CEO, but the entire team. Please, a round of applause. A round of applause. Thank you. And also seeing that you are people centered. Your people needs to be empowered because we see a lot, especially in this our day and time, where people are want to learn more, and the organizations they work with don't actually give that room for learning more, be it formal or informal. It's really an amazing thing to do. Well done for that. Now to Mr. Winner. Looking forward, future of Credlock. As Credlock grows to more merchants, more users, even maybe outside of Africa, going global as a whole. Um, what architectural horizons are you preparing for now so that the platform won't have to re-engineer itself?
I would say it just depends on majorly our design mindsets, right? So when we are building something now, it's always in our mind that what we are building, if there will come a time where it will have to support 10x, 100x users, are we going to have to bring down that system and rebuild it again? So if yes, then we don't do that. So to summarize, we build for now, but with the mindset that what we are building now can easily be adjusted to accommodate for the future.
Oh, that's amazing. That's actually amazing to see that. Even to see that not every opportunity is probably for you for now. Because some people just leap and jump, and then you have to bring everything to the ground and start again. That's actually a very amazing view. Um, okay, yes, please.
So,
Yes, please.
if I may double click on that, see what Winan said is very important. We don't just do that in our engineering practice. It's organizational wide, right? One of the big things that we do in our organization, for instance, is cross training, right? And helping people to experience other parts of the business. And we do that because we see a time in the future where we will transition beyond the Nigerian geography. And it is our hope that the people who will drive and lead our African expansion will be folks from within Credlock who have a broad understanding of business, where they've experienced not only our successes but also our failures, and are able to take that out. So we act big, essentially. We act big in how we do, with respect to not just building our people, but also with compliance, with regulation, when even not asked. So I just wanted to add that to that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Acting big. Acting big. Thank you very much. Mr. Lawrence, still on the future of Credlock. Um, as you scale further, what operational metrics or red flags do you monitor to know when the system is at risk of being overwhelmed? And how would you build contingency or scaling plans in advance?
Okay, thank you. Just before I answer that, so I am actually working on the beards. All right? I'm working on it. Red flags that makes us know that our system is overwhelmed. Maybe let me just work with one, and that is our loan approval and risk assessment time. Right? Maybe it takes us 5 minutes to get a single loan approved. Once it comes to the time where that 5 minutes is becoming 10 minutes or 15 minutes, then that kind of thing will keep me up at night, really. Because now it takes longer before a customer gets what it needs. And that is not good for my own health because I want to sleep. So because of that, even though right now, as I'm speaking with you, we have a design on our shelf, right? For a loan to get approved, calls need to be made to the customers and the guarantors. So, to accommodate a time when we have 100,000 transaction at the same time, simultaneously, right? We've built something with the help of our technical team. We've built a conversational AI that actually makes up to 1,000 calls simultaneously to those customers. We haven't deployed it yet. Just in preparation and in anticipation of such scenarios, we built it and it's right there on the shelf waiting. So that's how we are preparing for that kind of volume, basically. So in a situation where I have that kind of problem, that kind of red flag, that transactions are taking longer, we just deploy what we already have on the shelf. So that's how we're doing. Thank you.
That's really amazing to see that. Of course, we are to leverage on the fact that we're even in the AI age is really amazing and a good job. Well done. So I have two more questions, and it's for the three of you. So you just take turns to answer. And we've been talking about scaling and how the organization is doing amazing well and the great things that you're doing. But I want us to talk about failure. What's Can each of you share one time or a moment where a design decision or a decision generally you took that you thought would scale but didn't scale and was like a learning curve for you?
Okay, I'll go first. So I'm not going to name names, right? But there is a particular fintech or payment gateway in Nigeria, a very big one. So there is a core part of their payment system that you cannot actually test in the staging environment. You can only test it in production or just build it and believe it's working. So when we integrated our service, it was working fine, but there was a time that like lots of customers were complaining that we paid, we've not received pay, you've not credited us, what's happening? So that was when we now started looking into it, that what is wrong. And can you imagine, that was our own failure too. We built our system with our own internal monitoring services. We were not using like very robust monitoring services, which means there are limited errors we could catch. So that really made us redesign our system, and we started using Sentry. So that was where we failed.
Yes, failure is. I've learned to embrace failure as an opportunity. Um, for one, this is not the first time I've started a company. I failed numerous times, right? And I'm very thankful for the opportunities to learn the lessons I learned in those times. But failure is necessary, right? But the important thing is being able to scope your failure. One of the reasons why we are building in Kwara as an example, is the fact that we have the opportunity to fail safe, right? Kwara State and Ilorin as a city, particularly, has afforded us the opportunity to have a large sandbox, so to speak, a place where we can test out ideas, fail quickly, and recover. And that's the benefit of building in a place like Kwara. And for people who are listening and considering of building elsewhere, right? I'd like you to think about that, in that in Kwara State or Ilorin as a destination for building, because we have some amazing talents here, unbelievable talents here. We have people from Kwara State, a blossoming tech community, for instance, where people work for international organizations across the world. And the nice thing that we have in this environment is the fact that we all coalesce together. Somehow we all find ourselves, and so that's important. The fact that we're in a place where we can fail safely with the cost not being too severe, fail in an environment that is lenient on you when things don't work, really. And that has been very, very helpful and instrumental in us being able to build really fast. Fail quickly, reiterate, and move on. So I will cite an example. One of the areas that we failed was when we started Credlock. Credlock was intended as a tool for merchants to just facilitate the ability to release mobile phones for periods of time and facilitate payments over time, right? Quickly, we learned that that was not enough and that wasn't what our merchants needed. Quickly, we realized that we needed to bring in a financing component, right? And being able to quickly do that, pivot, and attach that to our ecosystem was the secret sauce in helping us to scale to the point where we could now begin to take our business and what we have built seriously.
That's nice. I think I learned something in recent times, and it has been like a mantra for me. Failure is part of the process, agreed, but don't make it a way of life. Yes, so I've actually been that over time.
All right. For me, where we failed, um, I would say we failed in the aspect of outsourcing a very critical component of our business, right? So, when you're dealing with loans, it's easy to give out those loans, but it becomes a lot more difficult to get them back. So we decided to outsource our collection and recovery efforts. And I can tell you, it was not a pleasant experience. So we had to come back, sat down, and we developed an homegrown recovery framework that gave us times 10 results than even when we outsourced. So I could consider that to be a failure, but at least, failure is just you understanding that this is one way not to do this thing. So that's what I would consider to be a failure. Thank you.
That's nice. Thank you very much. In one word each, just one word. What is one advice you will give to a startup fintech with aspirations to scale, be it within Nigeria or the African ecosystem at large? Just one
Okay,
word.
let me quickly go first then. So for me, the advice I will give is very simple, and that's what we still work with even at Credlock, is that you do what doesn't scale first. Do what does not scale first, then you can optimize later. When we started Credlock, we did not have a loan management system. We used Excel to manage loan cycle for months. Excel sheet. So it's fine. Use paper and biro if you have to. Then you can optimize later. Thank you.
It's actually hard to describe in one word, right? But I would say be ambitious. You have to be ambitious. And you have to have that mentality that you can do it. Because when we started, we needed a critical component. There's a critical component of our business, which is the ability to lock devices. We are just ordinary tech guys in Ilorin. How do we do that? But we believed, and along the line, we're able to achieve that in-house.
Amazing.
And for me, again, I will iterate. As a founder, the most important thing for you is your people. You must seek to elevate your people. You must seek to elevate your people. And everybody is not the same. If you're a founder and you are honest to yourself that you are not a people person, find and surround yourself. Ensure you have a co-founder that is first a people person. Because it's your people that will unlock ultimately scale for you.
Thank you very much.